Let's see here. Did we go live here? I don't know what's going on right now, guys. I don't know if you can hear me or not yet, but for some reason the StreamYard isn't connecting, so there we go. I think we're live now.
Reimagined.
Check. There we go. Looks like we're live now, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what was going on there. Hooked up the stream, and it just wasn't sending us to live.
Artlist.io.
Yeah, so anyways, yeah, I tried to do live and then it wasn't working. I did take a trade already, guys. 2 trades actually. There was a fair value gap here that got inverted right before the bell. I went short, and then unfortunately my stop was a little too tight on the first trade. As you can see, I got taken out, but right away it wicked off and it went back lower. So I actually re-entered and then ended up hitting my take profit. So I'm only down, like because my entry failed there. It wasn't that good on the second entry. I really should have my stop up here, looking back, and then I was targeting 20 points basically. But it hit like right away after I saw this wick. I basically entered. References. Let's show chart executions here so you guys can see what happened there. Oops. So as you can see, I went short there. My stop was a little too tight on the first trade, and then as it was coming down, I took it again at 896 here. So 896. Oh, sorry, 896 was the cover, and then 869 here. So I didn't get in until down here somewhere.
Artlist.io.
869, right around here, and then I ended up taking it down. So a little less than 20 points winner. That's why the loser was a little bit bigger than the winner, but the idea played out properly. I just had my stop a little too tight on the first entry. So anyway, so down 57 on that count. I'm currently also in a trade on ES. As you can see over here with this chart. Currently in a short, in ES. My target's down here at 67.19. Same idea as the trade I took on NQ. As you can see, I entered a little bit before market open. There was a fair value gap here that got inverted. It did bounce. My stop was in a good enough spot in this one, so let's see if we can't get banged out here pretty quick on the downside. But I was a little flustered there because we had the stream all set up. I had it all set up, and then I started the stream, and then it just wasn't showing. There we go, guys. I hit TP over there. So what did I make there? So the idea worked on both trades here. Let's see. Tell me how much. I think I had 650 in here, so 7, 8, so 170 or roughly, I think, on that account, on that trade over there. I'll put this guy back away. So not bad. 2 winners, 1 loser already. Unfortunately, you guys missed most of it because, like I said, I was trying to go. We engaged in the night open already. There we go on both. All right, so yeah, you guys missed most of those trades because you got to see the finish of that the one on ES, but yeah, it was a little bit tight on this stop, unfortunately, or else that first trade would have worked also. We're looking lower currently. Let's get this over here. NQ. So not a bad start to the day. I mean, down 57 in my two copy traded accounts there, and up ones.
Music licensing reimagined.
Yeah, so up like 170 on that one. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, it's too bad that this I was a little bit tight there. I thought I could go with previous structure here, and it just got me. So really, I should have went with this recent high, which that's originally actually if it would have been live, you would have seen where I put my stop. I ended up dragging it, and I was like, oh well, actually, you know, maybe I should just go like a little bit of structure back, the second structure back, and go there. So I ended up reducing it, although my original idea was to put the stop up there, which would have kept me alive on that trade. But anyways, let's see if we can't just be patient here and try to wait for our next opportunity. Looking pretty bearish so far. The Dow bounced up, ES selling off, NQ selling off. Let's get this off here right now. Hey Dad, morning. And Mark Sells Life. It kind of ranges, you know. I do stream pretty long there. Sometimes this morning I'm probably not going to stream that long. I had a hockey game last night, and it was a late one. It started at 10 p.m. and the arena is like a 1 hour drive. So I didn't get back to bed until I was in bed at like just before, right at 1:30. So 1:30 my time. So I've only really got 32, so 4.5 hours roughly so far. So maybe a little bit less because I didn't really count how long it took me to fall asleep, obviously. But so I'm running a little low on sleep here. I'm trying not to stick around too long. Wouldn't mind heading back for a nap. But here's our opening range. Anyways, we'll mark this out for now. Let's go with an orange here. But yeah, I don't think I've seen you on here yet, Mark. So definitely hit that subscribe button on my channel. It looks like you're probably in Randy's channel right now, Randy Baines. My channel is Market Butcher Trades. If you want to come on over, I'm usually live Monday to Friday, trading these pretty hard markets lately with these all-time highs. I don't know, most people are finding them pretty hard with the lack of structure to trade from highs to lows, whatnot. So especially when we're just constantly thinking we're going to go long, right? So on the days when it's a short day, it's kind of can catch you off guard a bit. So far we're looking like we might get nice. Randy and Behind the Charts podcast. Yeah, that's I also stream with them. So usually they're live on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we just have a little bit of a group, streaming group sort of together, and between Monday to Friday we're basically live every day between both of our channels. So like, you know, sending the stream to his channel and to my channel. So but yeah, appreciate it. I'll probably get on their podcast one of these days coming up, as I am also relatively new trader. So I started trading futures in February, so a little over roughly 6 months now. But I've been trading this new idea that I had here, that we've actually, you know, I got this idea from a guy that I know, and what he does is he marks off here, I'll show you real quick here. So I'll bring this up since I'm not in a trade here. So what we do here is we come back to the midnight open price here, which is right around here, I think. Nope, it's over here. So 2100 on my screen, which is midnight in East Coast. And then you mark off that midnight
Music licensing
open price.
reimagined.
And basically what you're doing is you're looking for the first inverted fair value gap. Like, so let's say we form a bullish fair value gap in this area. What you want is the price to come down and invert it. And as soon as you get a closure on that inversion, you're going to take a short, and you're basically taking the trade towards the midnight open price. It worked really good today. It's a little hard to find the signals because the signal can come anytime from 6 a.m. or 9 a.m. on. So yeah, so once there was a bullish fair value gap right in this area here. Kind of mark it out here for you. This, and that was a green because of bullish, right? And then as we got a closure down here below it, this candle right there. So that was the entry signal. You do have a bit of a negative risk to reward on these trades. Let's see here. Am I on the wrong indice? Yeah, this is MES. Anyways, it worked on MES also. So as you can see, I went with my stop there, like because the main structure was pretty even. I went with my stop above the structure, and I went with pre-market VWAP or electronic hours VWAP there. Put a stop up there, and waited for the inversion of the fair value gap. Entered. It might go against you a bit, which is fine. You're gonna run sort of a negative risk to reward. I did a 1-to-1 in this, but if you do a negative risk to reward, it's fine. And yeah, so, and you're thinking the price is going to trade towards midnight open price. So once you get that inversion, you can enter. You could wait for a little bit of a pullback. If you get one, you might not get it, and then enter anywhere, after the inversion. Looking for, usually when we're doing it on NQ, you do like a 2-to-1 negative risk to reward. And if I would have, let's get us over there. There we go. Yeah, so I did 20 points, take profit, and you gotta go. I would have went with this above here. This recent high. They also had a fair value gap right there that formed. So I entered it short on ES because it was a little bit more clear, and I also ended up taking it shortly after there. I don't remember exactly where that fair value gap. Probably this one right here formed, or it was right there on this channel or this candle there. There's a little spot there that could be the fair value gap. Anyways, it worked out pretty good, so not bad. That's the ideas from Zach Arbucci, which is a guy that he's from New York. He streams occasionally. He has a YouTube channel and goes live with ASFX TV. So before February, yes. So back, if I go all the way back to like 2000, I don't know if it was the end of 2018 or maybe the start of 2019. I can't remember exactly when, but I started getting interested in trading stocks. So, I was trading, penny stocks. Well, actually, that's not true. First, I started off trading Canadian stocks, like Royal Bank, or like Toronto Dominion Bank. So I made a couple, made some number of wins over there, and then I moved myself over to trading the U.S. stock market, and started trading penny stocks, which wasn't very successful. Basically, Ross Cameron style. It's just like you got to be super fast with the hotkeys and all that kind of stuff, and the stop losses, whatnot. So. I did struggle a bit there, getting some good winners also, but getting some, overall definitely losing. And then I started getting into futures, or not futures, sorry, into options. And, I was doing pretty well with options, mostly trading like Tesla and like some Apple and, some other ones like that. So we got the opening range. Sorry, guys. The opening range is set here, where it looks like we just wicked out of the bottom of the opening range there.
Music licensing
But yeah,
reimagined.
so anyways, when the COVID crash happened, I happened to be in two positions, option positions, and it was one in Apple and one in Tesla. And after the first bit of the fall, I was like, oh, no big deal, right? It's fine. And then it just kept going and going and going, and I like really lost my pants on those options. So I ended up stopping trading for a while after that. Not that I just kind of didn't feel like I wanted to risk the capital anymore. Basically, I didn't really have a lot of extra capital at the time to trade either. So it's kind of like I just sort of stepped away for a while. I was still watching stocks and interested, learning about it,
Music
whatever. So
licensing reimagined.
fast forward to towards the end of 2024. I started trading some more penny stock type stuff. Was doing okay, and then I noticed that Randy had started trading futures, so got me interested in the futures. And yeah, ever since then, it's kind of been all over, basically. That's been it for me,
Artlist.io.
I started trading my own personal capital in February, and then like I said, about a month later or so, I switched over to futures. I ended up getting my first payout in April. So after roughly about 1 month of trading, I just I was just on fire. I had like 20 winning days in a row, and that's kind of abnormal for someone.
Music licensing reimagined.
But I did it because I had been trading. Sorry, my financial juice is way too loud here. Because I was trading stocks, I think I was just a little quicker to start taking profits and whatnot. So ended up staying mostly green. I was definitely over trading at that point. Like I think, I was taking like 30-ish trades a day, but I was keeping the stops like super tight, and the take profits also super tight. So like, just like $50 winners and $100 winners kind of idea. Nothing really big. And it kind of all just piled up, and that's how I got my first payout. So been trying to figure out how to get my next payout since then. It's been a bit of a challenge, obviously, as trading usually is. But yeah, that's kind of my story. And no problem, Trevor. I appreciate the questions and the comments there. So looking like we got 6 viewers. We got 3 in my channel and 3 in Randy's channel right now. Thanks for tuning in. We do have a bearish fair value gap now down at 24,820. We're thinking about trying to take a trade here. Let's see. It's also kind of the opening or the opening range low area. So right in here. So this guy is a bearish fair value gap. So we're gonna make it that color. Selling off out of the gate. Yeah, it's really too bad I didn't have my stop higher on this on the first trade that I took, because I ended up losing. I got stopped out 220 or something. Like I said, as it rejected off of that, I was like, oh my god, I basically got stopped out to the tick too, or pretty close to it. It just started falling straight back down. So I just took the same idea, re-entered again as fast as I could down here, and then took it to, I think it was set at 20 points originally on my first order. So I think it was a little bit less than that, maybe like 16 points or something. But yeah, it worked out really good. So that explains why we're negative $57, because I had a $210 loser and then a $160 winner.
Artlist.io.
Let's see here. We are trading down to previous day low already on the NQ. Oh, I'm pretty tired here today, guys.
Music licensing reimagined.
Which is also the bottom of a trend line, actually. So might end up thinking about taking a long here on the bottom of this area, which is our previous day low, we could put our stop below the Monday low, which is down at 24,750. So let's try to see if we can wait for this to play out a bit. And what we could do is we don't want to target too much because we don't know how much of a bounce would get from there. But where's the 750? Low is 748, which is interesting because the previous day is incorrect on here. So good thing I checked that. So previous day low 779 here, right there. So actually, we would only be targeting back to this bearish fair value gap here, with the stop down at 48.
Music licensing reimagined.
So maybe like a 1-to-1 risk to reward. We could shoot for 30 points there. I would be somewhat aggressive in trying to take. Put my stop into profit there. Let's see if we can't get this to play out. Let's wait for some sort of reaction off this previous day low before we get some sort of entry. But we can also watch this for an inversion. So if this gets inverted, we could trade this back to the middle of the range, which would be, something like this. Let's just say that were to play out like that. You'd put your stop down here. Only looking for, roughly 22 points, I would say. So we don't want to front run, or we want to front run this view up there. Just double check it, make sure everything's correct versus what I got over here. So, because a trading view tends to be more accurate. So looking a little bit different over here.
Artlist.io.
So it'd be a 19 risk to actually hopefully get in a little bit lower there. Closer to the top of that. Here we go. 19.5 points to 19.5 points risk to reward there. So what we need is we're on the 1 minute candles right now. We do have this fair value gap.
Reimagined.
This is on 5 minute actually. So we have this, we have the 1 minute fair value gap there formed. If we get a closure above 8.19, that's where we can take our long. Looking for roughly 20 points.
Artlist.io.
So we're waiting for a 1 minute closure. If we get a 1 minute closure above this fair value gap, it would turn it into an inverted fair value gap, and then we can think about taking sort of scalping it back to this level here. You could take a partial at this level and maybe like leave a contract for a runner just in case it decides to continue. I like to do that just so there's a better chance you can, sometimes you can double your P&L if it runs with one single contract. So, just on that one trade. So let's see what happens here. Like I said, we're looking for a closure above this to take it back towards the middle of the range, leaving a runner to go higher. So 22 seconds left on this. I'm gonna grab a coffee real quick. Sorry guys.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
All right, so we got a new candle here for me. see what's going to happen here. If we're going to get this inversion or if it's just going to reject this. This is a fair value gap. So, idea also could be is that we just enter in this with a short to take it lower.
Artlist.io.
We have some pretty crazy equal highs on the ES though. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to end up heading back up to 6,728 at some point today. Because, we had a bearish SMT from last night and we have, a bunch of equal highs sort of in this area. It's, they're not exactly equal highs, but we did form two equal highs sort of right at 4:36 a.m. and 6:36 a.m. So 7:30 and 9:30 a.m. So there's a good chance we're going to head back up there. NQ didn't really have. Oh yeah, we did make equal highs back at also at 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. So 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. So there is equal highs there up at the previous 4-hour high. So that could be our draw on liquidity for the day. We do have a trend line here on the NQ down at 24,770 area. Okay, looking like we might get that inversion here. You got to wait for this candle to close though, because at the last few seconds they might just slap it back down and it end up closing down here. But if we do get that closure up there, so 2 seconds here.
Music licensing
Sounds like we got news coming, guys. Don't take any trades right now. 10 seconds on news. I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna wait for this news to come out here, guys. And yeah, it's did it close? I can't really tell on if it's my. It did close above it though. It did invert it, but with that news, I'm just not really sure this is a good idea to take this trade right now. They did say something. I'm not sure what they said there, but I just won't really trade with the news. I didn't see. Let's see, where is this?
Music licensing.
9:30. Fed Powell speaking at 9:30. Is that it? Yeah, Fed Powell looks like he's speaking right now. So that's usually not a good time to be in a trade if the Fed's talking. So we're going to be patient for now, guys.
Artlist.io.
We'll probably stream till 8 a.m. this morning, which is 11 a.m. on East Coast. Just like I said, I'm running really low on sleep, so I need to try to get a little nap in before I got to get on to the rest of my day here. So I don't want to spend too much time. I don't know. Maybe some of the young bucks out there have no problem with a 4.5 hours sleep, but I need some beauty sleep, I'm gonna say, let's just say this didn't invert here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here and see if
music licensing.
Oh, maybe I did actually a little bit, but yeah, it looks like it did close there. But like I was saying, with Fed Powell speaking, I'm not very he just came up on the stream I got it live on YouTube on Bloomberg Television up here. I got the link from Financial News. So let's not take any trades while Fed Powell speaking, because you never know, they might just say yeah, we're not going to cut rates, or we're going to cut rates or something, and then something drastic's going to happen, right? So let's I'm just going to remove these right now. I don't want anybody taking any trades here. So let's look at the 5 minute here. Okay, so interestingly enough, if we go back to the 5 minute on this right now, there is a bearish fair value gap that's currently sort of working on the 5. So the higher time frame fair value gaps tend to work a little bit better. Right here, right? Yes. So we got a 5 minute fair value gap there. We can put it like a 5 minute.
Artlist
So then you can
IO.
see there's a 5 minute. This one's a 1 minute. But I think that one got inverted, so I don't know that we can really have that one anymore. That's technically was turned into, yeah, because it did close above it there. It's just so close, and with Fed Powell speaking, let's not even think about that one anymore. Let's just get rid of that. Yeah, hopefully he's not going to talk too long.
Music licensing reimagined.
We're battling right now at the top, at that fair value gap. Did get a pretty solid bounce there off of these this sort of like low level. Yeah, there's definitely a battle going on right now.
Artlist IO.
Looking pretty bullish right now.
Music
Hey Keith, good
licensing
morning. How you doing?
reimagined.
So let's see here. Where's my calendar? Yeah, so I had a pretty bad day yesterday, guys. Ended up losing 1,500 yesterday. I had some pretty unlucky trades. I had 2 trades in a row that like missed my TP by like
Artlist
a tick,
IO.
and then ended up like heading the opposite direction. So I was in a long. It went, within a couple ticks of my take profit, and then just reversed super fast and went below my entry price.
Artlist
I ended
IO.
up reversing that trade, and then it went down to the bottom, and it literally did the exact same thing to me. Missed my entry point or my exit point by 2 ticks again, and then ended up reversing and going back to my into the negative from my entry
Music
price. So
licensing
I ended up
reimagined.
taking back-to-back losers on my funded accounts. Ended up getting locked out on those accounts because I have been risking a little bit more. I'm in drawdown in those accounts, so I'm trying to make it or break it. If I end up losing them, I'll have to get some new accounts, right? But yeah, so that didn't work out good. Then I ended up taking a short shortly after that, which I closed it at a
Artlist
small
IO.
winner, and then that whole huge sell-off happened, and I was in short like literally 5 minutes before that huge sell-off happened there yesterday, and that kind of like got me some FOMO. So I ended up taking another 2 trades after that, 1 winner, 1 loser.
Music
And then
licensing
I also
reimagined.
took a trade trying to buy the bottom in an evaluation account, and I blew that evaluation account. First trade in the new evaluation account, I went in with 15 contracts, micro contracts, and then I added 15 more at 2 what I thought were pretty key levels, and of course it just kept going. It kept going down and down and down. So as with 30
Artlist
minis
IO.
or micros, to get to your 2,000 drawdown in a 50K evaluation account is super easy, right? So it just blew. Yeah, you blew no to eval yesterday. I was halfway through. Oh, that sucks. That's even worse. Mine was, well, I don't know what's worse actually, losing it halfway through or losing it on your first trade. Yeah. That's sorry to hear that though. Yeah, it's I mean, I guess that's the risk that we took when we did that. But for me, it was definitely a tilt day. Like the way I reacted to
Music licensing
first off getting
reimagined.
max loss in a couple accounts, and then I cut that one too early because I was basically chickened out on the trade, and then it just it would have like easily went to the profit, right? Like the profit target. So that kind of got me the tilted point, and then I'm like, well, now I gotta buy it, right? Grabbed a short from 67.24 to 67.11. Nice trade.
Artlist IO.
24 to 11. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Right out of the gate, sort of, right? So you would have been short roughly right at pre-market or right at the opening bell, right? Nice trade though, yeah, for sure. So you went all the way down to 67.11.
Music licensing
Wow,
reimagined.
that's awesome, man. You got like 90% of that move. Wicked job. But yeah, so that's my month. I did remove um, an evaluation account from this month, so it is the total profit and loss is a little lower than it was. It was I probably would have been up about $2,000, but yeah, so decent looking month. Lots of green days, but my red days have been really big here. So 1,700, 1,500, and 3,000 on last Tuesday. So currently my Tuesdays are just no good, man. You know, like I'm just taking too many losses on Tuesdays lately. So I should think about really sizing down on Tuesdays or not even trade. So I like your stream. I've been driving and I'll be home soon to join you guys online. Nice, thanks. Appreciate that. I'm not trying to claim to be the best trader in the world. You know, I am relatively new, only about 6 months into trading futures now, and so it's good to. It's kind of like the podcast, right? Where it's kind of like you're starting to watch the journey of people who are in the start of their trading journey, and hopefully, you know, in a year's time or so, when you look back and we're like, you know, a lot more profitable and stuff, that you can be like, yeah, wow, like I saw these people trading back when, you know, they were so new that they were losing accounts and this and that, right? So definitely check out Top One Futures. I don't know which futures company you trade, but you can set up your if you go in here, you can set up your risk setting, right? So the way I have this account set up is I have $1,000 loss limit, personal daily loss limit. So if we get down 1,000 at any point, it'll cut the trade and it'll lock us out. And then I also had a personal profit target of 1,800, and that's just to like stay in line with the consistency rule that you need to have to be able to get a payout, right? So I also trade with Lucid Trading. I got 3 test accounts there. I've been trading these for about 10 days, it looks like here. And you know, these are roughly almost halfway to the profit target. Let's just log in here real quick. That's wrong. Huh?
Artlist.io.
There we go. Geez, looks like I have the wrong email address in there. I'm gonna have to fix that. So yeah, so I got 1,600 in this account, 1,400 that one, and just under 1,400 in that account. So those have been only copy traded, those accounts. So I'm trying to get all 3 of those to be a pass. Just being patient, just trying to treat it like as if it was a live, you know, or a funded account anyways. So. But we'll definitely do you know, a couple air horns here and an applause for that comment. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. Always looking forward to meeting new people, getting connected again on you know, on all our trading people. So we did close below that. So technically this guy is actually, it's still a bearish one. Right?
Music licensing reimagined.
Actually, when we're gonna remove this guy anyways, because we did get a closure down here, and it already inverted it once. It was bearish, it went bullish, and then it went back down to bearish. So we can't really say that there's a fair value gap there anymore with the way that the price action is. So I am interested in taking it along if we get down to 24,780 area, which is right near this previous day low. I'll show you guys real quick here too. Still not very excited though. Powell's speaking, right? So as you can see, I got these two trend lines here. These have been long-term bullish trends. So obviously, there's a chance that we could break this and start heading lower and sort of like forming a new like deviation of the channel. But what we'll do is we'll just go back to the 4 hour here, and then you could kind of see what I'm looking at here. So, you know, since basically somewhere here, September 2nd, since September 2nd, we've been in this bullish channel here. Well, technically it's a bearish channel, but we haven't been showing any signs that we're going to be rolling over out of this channel yet. So far we've been just kind of like, you know, going to the bottom, in the middle, sort of up to the top, back to the bottom, back to the top, up to the top, and now back to the bottom. So I'm looking to buy there at the bottom of that channel. Look at that, we did have a pretty big wick out of it there, but this is a 4 hour candle, and look how it closed back in the channel. So there's a chance that like it might run further down on us, so just keep that in mind. We do have the Monday low down there, so you know, you could kind of like just use that as a stop. So somewhere down 742 would be my stop, and entry somewhere around 780, so it'd be like a 40-point stop. So wouldn't be going in too heavy of size anyways, because with that kind of a stop you're gonna have to like make sure that it, you know, you got some space before you take it out. But if it were to like start showing some bullish momentum, you can always add into it, right? Like if we end up pulling back pretty, you know, and maybe even breaking below this a little bit and then bouncing, and we start looking, you know, showing some green to the top side, so we, you know, would do something like this, maybe little boom, breakout, retest, and then ending higher. At this point here, you could definitely think about like adding into your trade, right? I mean, wait for some sort of structure, like in a retest would be really good. That would give you an idea that, you know, we might be heading back to the value area low, or, you know, electronic VWAP, something like that, targeting some sort of other level up there. Let's go back here. I just got to get these drawings off. But yeah, rough idea like that. I wonder if these this arrow, is the arrow
Artlist.io.
Oh yeah, you can only do one arrow. I just thought that there was one that you can use to like go arrow markup. Oh, okay, interesting. Never used that one before. This one, can this one go?
Music licensing
No.
reimagined.
I thought that there was one that you can like drop it and then drop it and then drop it. Could be wrong. Maybe there is somewhere, but oh, a path. Here we go. Nice. Yeah. So like this, something like that, but not exactly. So I'm gonna actually put that on my bar now.
Artlist.io.
So Fed Powell still speaking. Let's hurry up and get off here, guys. Let's get this Fed Powell off. But let's just say like something like this. Maybe, you know, we end up heading here, we retest, we come back, we break it, we retest, and then we enter. So something like that. And then we would, you know, we can have that option to enter in this area, right? After we've kind of like formed some structure down here. You could think about adding and taking it back to our next target, whatever that may be, probably the value area low. Take some partial profits, leave some runners to go higher. I'm pretty tired today, guys. So down $100 between my two copy traded accounts here, but then like I said, I'm up 170 in my take profit trader evaluation account. So overall still positive on the day, $70. I did take a trade. Didn't I take a trade last night or yesterday? I did take a trade.
Music
Is it in this
licensing
account?
reimagined.
Yeah, that's why this account's green. Because I had taken a winner, a small winner. I think it was like $95 from yesterday's session, and then I lost 210 and I won 160 this morning because I had my stop too tight. But I'm really liking that idea. Like I was saying, this trader I know, Zach Arbucci, he
Artlist.io.
he basically marks off the sorry, one sec here. He marks off the midnight opening price, and basically, like if you're above the midnight open price and you haven't engaged that since 9 a.m., you're looking for the first bullish fair value gap. If you're above the midnight open, the first bullish fair value gap to get inverted, which would make it bearish, that would be your entry signal. So the closure of the candle that turns the bullish fair value gap into a bearish fair value gap, and then taking that back to the midnight open, right? So looking like we got some guys in the ASFX TV stream short currently. So they're overall, which I mean makes sense because we are trading below the VWAPs here. I didn't even put my New York VWAP on yet. Is that New York? Yes, 625. I usually run this one at the yellow. Are my levels even correct here on this? Let's go double check those. Because I may not have updated this. So I think I didn't. So value area low 837. Yeah, so this isn't even correct here, guys. So good thing we're not using those levels yet. 837, 842. There we go. Let's get rid of our IB low, and then our point of control is 950. So one up there. I got my electronic point of control 888. There's our midnight open price. That one's accurate. Oh, is that accurate? Midnight open isn't accurate, but we don't really need that anymore. I only use that for that trade before or out of the gate. So value area high is 25,021, and 25,004 is where our value area high is. So get these guys updated. Are these highs? Yeah, these highs are accurate still. Come on, pal, hurry up. Pal's still live. Previous day high. Okay, so this is our current day. This is our previous day. Yeah, we'll leave it where it was because that, it is electronic hours, a previous day high. We'll leave that there. Makes sense. So levels are back in here properly. So still holding below the value area low and previous day low down here. I am interested in taking longs though today, guys, just because like I said, we have, especially on the ES, maybe we should be looking at the ES this morning, because we have those equal highs, as you can see up here. Like, look at this, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 highs that are relatively equal. These ones right here are exactly equal. Usually that's a draw on liquidity. So I could see us bouncing here and kind of like heading back up to the top of the range here. So let's make sure that we got our range set here properly, and I'm gonna have to double check the levels on this chart also. So is that our 630 there? Yes. So there we go. We'll put that. Where's our 45 candle? Right there. Let's go down to the 1 minute so we can get the accurate 45 15-minute candle here.
Music licensing
45 is right there.
reimagined.
So we actually, the stop, pretty large range, guys, all things considered. So 13 points. It's pretty relatively large for the ES. This purple, let's get rid of this purple line here. That's no good. That was a blue actually. So this one is that from our pre-market properly? No, that's an old one also. This blue would be light blue, probably. Where does that go? No, that one's incorrect also. Let's just get rid of all these. All right, let's start over. Start from scratch here.
Music licensing
So let's put our New
reimagined.
York view up at the 630 candle here. So we're trading below that currently. We can get a 1500 or 3 p.m. candle here, right there. This guy's red. Are we getting that pullback right now on the? Kind of almost getting that pullback on the NQ for that long off the bottom of that channel. We don't. We have a similar channel on ES, but I can't seem to see where it is.
Artlist.io.
And usually it trades a little bit different. I must not have it on this ES chart, because when we changed the futures contracts, I may not have updated that. So let's just double check our levels here on the ES, make sure everything's accurate. So we got value area high 742. Value area high 742, way up there. Okay. Previous day high a week up there at 755.
Artlist.io.
Previous day high 756.75. All right. Electronic point of control.
Music licensing reimagined.
Way up there also 752. Oh, that was that one actually. Point of control 709. Value area high is 15. Electronic value area high is 715. Oh, that's value area low. Value area high is 755. Sorry.
Artlist.io.
Value area low is 701. Electronic value area low is 715. So the volume levels are kind of awkward right now, and previous day low is
Music licensing reimagined.
701. Right with the value area low. As you can see, I usually have been calculating the regular trading hour point of control or value levels, and also the electronic hours value levels. And you know, we got one point of control down here at 709, and we got one point of control up at 752, which is a huge difference. So kind of weird that it's working out like that. It's just because, you know, the pre-market action, there was quite a bit of volume pre-market up there. Through the value area,
Music licensing
electronic value area,
reimagined.
and the electronic point of control up there. So maybe what we need to do is just not even consider the electronic ones today, because it's so far out of the range. I mean, like I said though, you know, you never know. You could always get up there. Okay, so looking like NQ didn't quite make it down there yet to that bottom like I was talking about, but you know, go back to the 5 here on the charts, on my TradingView charts. Feeling like I'm gonna have to do a quick bathroom break here, guys. Could just stick a limit order down there if we want to just be patient and wait for that entry. So, currently got 14 viewers. We got 4 in my channel, 3 in Randy's YouTube channel, and 7 in Randy's X channel. So thanks for everybody who is watching the stream. We appreciate you guys. As always, let's switch up our banner here. You guys can see my channel name and everything here, in case you want to come on over to YouTube and get connected with us. There's that, and then I have a discount code with Top 1 Futures, and also I should actually edit this real quick because I should add on there Top 1 Futures code MBT. And
music licensing reimagined.
okay, looking like we just got the initial balance set, but unfortunately that's bugger Powell's still speaking out there. Save this. There we go. All right, so Top 1 Futures discount code and Lucid Trading discount code is MBT. Actually, I'm gonna adjust that a little bit. It's a little too long. Let's just put a comma. We don't need the and. There we go. That looks better.
Artlist.io.
All right, guys, we're still sitting flat here. We just had our initial balance here set, so we can stick our initial balance low here, draw a horizontal line, and initial balance, if you guys are wondering what that is it's kind of like the 15-minute opening range, except for you do the first 1 hour opening range. Technically, you need a 30-minute closure to get, to get like a failed auction is what we would call, like, so let's just say the price ends up going below the IB low and then recovers, and then the next 30-minute candle that closes, so the 8 a.m. Or 11 a.m. candle that closes above that would be definitely a bullish sign. So put the IB low there. I don't know, guys. I'm still feeling bullish because we have those equal highs up there on ES, right? This whole like area up here is kind of like got me really interested in trying to get up there. Let's make this guy yellow because that's kind of our draw of liquidity. That's what I'm seeing here. So what we're doing now, I guess, is we're gonna wait for a closure above, or a nice take of the VWAPs here, and heading back into the range, kind of like we are currently, and then we'll trade it to the top of the range basically, because there's those equal highs up there. There's a good chance that the price is going to want to go there.
Artlist.io.
So, but we're going to be patient here, waiting for some like nice candle closures. Let's go to the 5. That's even a little bit, stronger signal. See, as if, if we were on the 5 here, we did not get a closure above the New York VWAP there. So, we're still waiting for an entry sign. And we do have that potential entry. The other idea is, to get long on the NQ down at 780. So let's. I'm gonna go switch over to NQ for a sec. We'll put in sort of an entry box per se down here. 779, 780. Sort of like anywhere in this range here would be an entry for a long. Pulling back pretty hard here, guys, but don't jump in too quickly here. Let's see how it reacts on the previous day low. Since this idea is kind of playing out right now, we'll look at this one first. And then our stop would be, so let's just let's frame a long position in here like this. So we'll target roughly the bottom of the range, or at least, you know, somewhere close to the bottom of the opening range. And then our stop would be down at, I think it was 48, right? Yeah, so 48. So looking like about a 27 stop to potentially a 40 point winner. So this is kind of the idea. And by the way, not financial advice. I gotta get that disclaimer out there. Definitely do your own research, make your own decisions. Don't just follow me blindly. You know, obviously there's no guarantee it's going to be a winning trade. But you know, I feel like I'm willing to risk potentially, depending on how this reacts, to take a long down there. So I'm going to be patient for now and see what kind of a reaction we get there. We did form this low, which basically is almost to the trend line. That's why I think we're going to come back down here again. It actually wicked right on our previous 4-hour candle low. That's where that was, bottom of that, so 24,784. So let's take a look at the 4-hour candles here, and then we can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, so well, actually that formed the previous 4-hour candle low, right? So that was our previous 4-hour candle. So we've been forming a lot of wicks down here, as you can see there. 1, 2, these guys don't really count, they never came down there. Then this guy, and then is that going to be the bottom of this candle? Let's see. It is a 4-hour candle. What I'd like to see is, like I said, come down into that to that area, and then maybe just run, you know, just run it back up all the way green, make it green, maybe even head up to at least to this area in the middle of the range, 24,861. I won't be looking to take the trade that long, and looking like we might not be getting that entry just yet. But we'll keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that one. We'll keep an eye on the ES for a potential long. Also, if we start taking our VWAPs out and looking like we're going to go higher. But yeah, that would have been a pretty decent entry down there at the 90, even the 800, right? Because we're up 17 points right off of there. So let's peek back at the ES here. Oh, excuse me.
Music licensing reimagined.
We're back at the 4-hour open on ES. So I'm not really loving this price action, guys. Obviously, we're just going sideways in this area. So that isn't a good sign. I usually like to enter on fair value gaps, whatnot. So this type of price action isn't going to give you fair value gaps, right? So the way fair value gaps work is you need kind of like a 3-candle structure, right? So let's just say, I'm not going to put any wicks on these because the wicks don't really show very well, but let's just say that's 1 candle, right? And then we end up doing something like this, right? And then the next candle is something like this. So we need 3 candles in a row. Just move this back here like that. 3 candles in a row And then basically, so this middle candle has a price expansion.
Artlist.io.
And then you're going to be going from the bottom of that candle to the top of that candle. And then you can put your box sort of like this. So this is how you would find fair value gaps. So assuming the price went up here, it opened there, went up there,
Artlist.io.
ended up opening down a little bit, went up there. Whatever the gap is in between those two outer candles is where your fair value gap would be. And so that's only on expansion, right? You will never get it like this because these candles are so tightly together that you need a gap,
Music licensing
you know, to
reimagined.
form in between the candles for you to get like the fair value gap to form. Oh, jeez, guys. Oh, need more sleep. Need more sleep. 4.5 hours just isn't enough. I like 7 or so.
Artlist.io.
First sip of the coffee, though, maybe that's gonna wake me up a bit. Just looking at the live streams, we got 3 in my channel, 2 in Randy's YouTube channel, and 7 in Randy's X channel. So we got some viewers right now. Thanks so much to all you viewers that are checking
Music
it out.
licensing reimagined.
We're still just flat, looking for a trade here. ES is looking a little more bullish currently. So let's just go over to the ES for now. I'm keeping an eye on the NQ for that potential entry if we could sell off a little bit more down there. But what we're looking for here is we actually want a candle closure above the electronic VWAP. Let's just make sure that, yeah, that's accurate.
Artlist.io.
Yeah, so what we want is we want a nice candle here to go something like, you know, something like this, get a closure above that, and then maybe sort of like a retest, and then we enter somewhere in this area on the start of the price expansion. But so far with this, you know, sideways action, again, where's our fair value gaps? There aren't any, right? So if we get rid of all these, because, you know, these obviously if they weren't there originally, but if you see right here, see this is a good example of where a fair value gap is. So this candle, you know, it opened here, went up, and it came back down, and then ended up closing there. This one opened here, came all the way down, and then this one opened, went up, and came down, bottom of the wick there, closed here, right? So between this wick and that wick, that's where your fair value gap is. And usually that's kind of like, sort of like considered like a low volume node. And the price usually accelerates through that area pretty quickly. And then that's why it ends up leaving what we call fair value gap. And what you're looking for is, so this candle is a good example. It kind of like touched the bottom of that range. You could have entered short right in this area and taken it down. This one ended up, I think that was the one that I thought inverted it. So good thing we didn't take a trade there, because like obviously we've been going sideways since then. And then we kind of just came right straight back down on this next candle. So, but anyways, that's how you find your fair value gaps. You need some sort of price expansion like that in either a bullish or a bearish direction.
Artlist.io.
Looking like we're pulling back now again on the NQ. So let's go back to the MNQ here and just sort of be ready for that potential entry here. If we can't get in.
Artlist.io.
Oh, guys. Oh. But yeah, like I'm really liking that out of the gate trade that I took there today.
Reimagined.
So looks like, who is this? Is this Austin's account or is it Randy's account? I think it's probably Austin. Austin's short in the ASFX TV stream. He's targeting 67.04 as his take profit. He's trading NQ or MES, sorry. 704. That's
Artlist
I mean,
IO.
we're 8 points away from that at this point. He's in a slight bit of drawdown. Like I think he's only down 17 or 20 bucks or something. So looking like we're not going to get that pullback here, guys. Forming another higher low. Let's just put a little trend line here and see if this ends up holding. We have 1, 2, 3 touches now on this trend line right there. So looking like it's a valid trend line, which means that we're basically forming a bearish flag right now. Because if you were to flip this upside down, you would say this is a bull flag, right? Because if you flip it, we pulled, went down, we pulled back, and we're heading towards that. So we're gonna. The idea is it's gonna break out this way. So like, if you were to like flip it upside down, that would be a bull flag. So because it's down this way, it's a bear flag. And the reason we call it a bear flag is because it's kind of like this, right? You got this. Imagine this. This is like your flag pole per se. So we're heading lower, and then we start forming the flag part from here, right? And look, let's see this here. Yeah, that looks pretty good like that, actually.
Music licensing reimagined.
So it's a bearish flag. As long as we don't get out of it and start heading higher here, more likely we're going to head lower. So it's kind of a little bit along the same lines as what Austin's doing on that other stream there. He's already in. I don't think he's trading this pattern, but like it just kind of like he's in a short, and it seems like if this pattern plays out, his short is going to be correct, right?
Music licensing.
So I don't know if any of you guys heard too, but Randy, the guy we stream with, he's going to Mexico for like a month, I think, leaving on Sunday, taking his laptop and everything, and he's going to be trading live from Mexico for a month. So, and that's kind of the trader's dream, right? Is that we can just pick up and go somewhere, and we can still do our job from anywhere in the world. One of the draws of being a trader. So once we get, I would love to move somewhere also like that, somewhere tropical, but I'm going to wait to be a consistent trader, like before I do that. And then, I would like to ship my computer over there too, because I just, as much as I like, you can use the laptop and you get some side screens and whatnot, that works. But it's just not the same as, I got 4 screens right now going. So, I got like on this main screen, I got, my execution chart. And then I got the book map on the side here. I got my streaming software on the left, up over on that side. And then below that, I got, I usually monitor my YouTube channel and some other stuff like that. And then on this side, I got my trading view charts. So I got 3 charts. This guy here, which I showed you guys earlier. I'm watching ES. This is a Dow, and then this is an NQ. So I got that going over here. And then on my upper screen, I got Financial Juice. And then sometimes I'll be watching some other streams live, because lots of other streams are giving away. Some other guys are giving away some free accounts and whatnot. So sometimes I like to watch it. I actually won a free account not long ago on stream. So yeah, I never actually received that yet, but received the free account yet. I'm gonna have to follow up with the person who I won it from, but yeah, so I was live on stream with you guys, and then I was like, I showed the duck race that was happening. And, yeah. So let's go back to the ES here, guys. Let's see. We're looking a little bit better here. So we're waiting for that that 5-minute closure above this electronic VWAP. Looking like we might be getting that pretty soon. Let's just frame this up, this idea. So it would be along sort of like this. We can target sort of the top of that candle. We'll put our stop down here. So that's actually not even a 1-to-1. Let's just go 9 points. We'll end up covering some sort of at the midpoint of this, the opening range. We do have the IB low down there, which, you know, normally if there's the initial balance, most of the time it'll never break the bottom and the top, right? So if this is initial balance bottom form and we never end up actually going there to retest it, more likely we're going to be heading back to the other side of the initial balance, which would be the start of the day, right? Right at 6:30. So, you know, initial balance high is right up there at the top of that wick, which is also right where all those equal highs are, right? So let's see how this plays out. We're waiting for this 5-minute closure. We got 1 minute left on this candle. If we can get a closure up above here, we can definitely think about taking a long here. But keep in mind, guys, make sure you wait for that closure. You know, it's not worth, you know, the 2 points or 3 points, maybe 3 points that you might be able to get in early without getting that closure, right? So looking like we might get this long here, guys. Just double check here. We do have one bearish fair value gap up at 724 area. So right in this area, we got a bearish fair value gap. So we can keep in mind about that. So that could be our partial take profit area. And then, you know, if we do take a partial up there, we will, we'll bring our stop to break even. Anytime I take a partial, I always bring my stop to break even. Don't want to let it turn into a red trade at that point. That candle did not close there, so we got to wait for this next 5-minute candle. And as you can see, there's a bit of a battle going on here. Unfortunately, Powell's still speaking over there, and sounds like, I thought I just heard them say something about Trump said something or other, which usually isn't very good either. So good thing we didn't take that preemptively, right? If we would have taken that long early, now we rejected off the electronic VWAP, there's a chance that we might end up heading back down to the lows, right? So we might end up sweeping this low before we head to the high. So keep that in mind, guys. Waiting for those closures really going to save you a lot of headache on the trades, right? But I'm really liking ES because we do have a clear draw on liquidity right now, which is our London highs, and it's equal highs to top it off. So often we'll just consider London highs to be a draw on liquidity, but considering we put in exact equal highs right there, you know, that just really makes me think we're going to go there. Now, are we going to pull back and maybe test this low before we head to the highs? Yeah, quite possibly. So, you know, they might sweep the lows down here first. They might sweep the initial balance low to grab a little more liquidity, and then they're going to take it all the way back to the top of the range. Or, like I said, if we get a 5-minute closure above this electronic VWAP, that's another signal for an entry here. So we got 3 minutes left on this candle. We're starting to take this pretty good here. Let's take a look at the 1 minute here, see if we get a closure on the 1 minute. We did get a little closure there, but it was pretty ugly, right? Like it just barely. So we just did get a closure there. You know what, guys? I think I'm gonna take this. Let's go with a little bit smaller size right now. I'm gonna get in there with 3 contracts here. We're gonna put our stop down here. Oh, sorry. Let's shrink this a bit. It was bigger for the 5-minute candle. We're gonna put our stop down there at the point of control, with our end target somewhere up here at this. We'll just front run that a bit so we can kind of put this here. Depending on how this price action continues here, since we are now above the VWAPs, we can think about adding in here if we are looking pretty strong. I'm going to keep the size pretty small here. See if we can't can't get some continuation here. Finally starting to get a little bit of a breakout above this, this area here. We've been kind of making some higher lows, which is pretty good for us to look like, and some higher highs. So higher lows, higher highs, meaning the bulls are here. Just went in small size though, don't want to risk too much. We're $146 here. Let's watch this VWAP here to see if how this ends up closing. If we end up getting a 5-minute closure below it, that's obviously not the best thing for us because it just shows that the sellers are still there. So we could think about cutting it early if we do get a closure below there, depending on how bearish it looks. I think I would wait at least for it to get below the New York VWAP and the electronic value area low down there. We could think about sort of adding into this position a little bit too, depending on what kind of a reaction we get off of here. I'm only going to go to a maximum on this trade of 5 contracts, like in the little bounce we had there, guys. Some buyers stepping in. Let's take a look at our CVD here. So we had a high, we made a new high there, right? Or what's our previous? I think Fed Powell might be leaving here pretty quick. The crowd's clapping. Yeah, Fed Powell's off now, guys. About to walk away, so that's good news. I'm gonna close down that stream. I don't need to watch that anymore. Close that off. So we are getting that pullback on the 5-minute here. So that's not looking very good, guys. Might end up cutting this trade early here. Not loving it now with that closure. Should have waited for the 5-minute. I just preemptively jumped in on the 1-minute. That's too bad. If we end up getting a closure below this VWAP here, definitely going to cut this trade, I think, early. Yeah, we did get a closure there. Let's just give this a few seconds to see if they can't reclaim it right away. Let's go back to the 1-minute here. Yeah, not looking that promising at the moment. So yeah, I think I'm gonna close this trade, guys, here. Let's see if I'm out. I'm taking the loss on that right away. With that 5-minute closure below, I mean, it's looking like we're gonna head to the lows first before we end up taking those highs. So let's go back over to the NQ then, because should have waited for that 5-minute closure, guys. That was my bad. Hopefully nobody else took that trade with me there. Should have listened to my own advice. So we did break out of the range a little bit on NQ, got rejected at the New York VWAP, and we're heading lower. So we'll think about taking that long here. We were going to end the stream in 4 minutes, but we are getting close to this entry price. So we'll stick around for a little bit longer and see what happens here. Flirting with the bottom of that range right now. I do have half a mind to just take it short down down to this range currently, right?
Music licensing reimagined.
Yeah, so let's see if we can't get that pullback here, guys. Head down to these lows, sweep out these lows. There we go. Starting to get that move a little bit. They did just take those lows. Let's see, it should accelerate here a bit, heading lower. So let's wait for that reaction here at this low.
Artlist.io.
see if we can't get a little bit of an acceleration here. We do have these lows back here, which is kind of going to be a bit of a challenge. I'm sure that there's some buyers looking to get in on this area. Let's see if we can't get some continuation here and then get down to that entry price. Getting a bit of a bounce. Let's see. Hopefully they can reject them here at this the bottom of this trend line. And we do have a bearish fair value gap right that we formed right in here, roughly, is it? Let's see, 804 to 810.
Artlist.io.
804 to 810. And then we'll put this guy orange because that's our bearish signal.
Music licensing reimagined.
So we got to get back below this trend line here if we're going to get our move down to there.
Artlist.io.
Let's see how this goes here. I'm not saying to take this trade, but I did enter on my evaluation account, just looking for that little scalp to head lower here. This is my evaluation account, so I'm not that concerned on it being a winner or loser. Obviously, I want it to win, but on some of these trades that I don't feel like are necessarily guaranteed to play out a little bit better, I'm not going to take it in the evaluation accounts. There is a good chance that we're going to bounce from these lows, right? We're going to hold these lows because there's probably some buyers in this area trying to hold it up. So I'll let you guys know how that plays out here. If we're going to get a TP, I'm not looking for very much on that trade. I think I only have my TP at roughly $80 or so. So it's going to be a small winner if we do get down there. But the trade I'm more interested in is, like I said, is if we can get down there and then we can get that reversal off the sweep of the lows and then sort of head back towards the highs. ES really tricked us there. Hey guys, let's go back to, I want to look at this real quick on the ES. Didn't quite stop us out though, hey? I did cut it. We're still below where I cut it because I cut it like roughly here. So we did go quite a bit lower. It would have been very close to our full stop there. And it might still go there. It is looking relatively bearish right now. There we go. We're starting to pull back a bit more. Let's go back to the NQ. See what happens here. Slightly in profit on that short trade. Looking for, sort of this low to be hit. 781.50 is my order. 781.50. So roughly in this area. Just draw a little horizontal line there, just to keep track of that other trade so you guys can see it.
Music licensing reimagined.
But see, buyers are holding this area here. The buyers are stepping in here a couple times now. Still looking relatively bearish since we did break down below this channel or this flag pattern. But we're not really, they're not out of the woods just yet. The buyers could be here. Quite often these flags kind of like pop out. They're going to pop out in either direction, and then eventually the direction's going to be picked. Hopefully we're on the right side of the trade right now. Only looking like 93 down to 81. So it's like another 10 points basically. I'm up $24 currently in that trade on the eval. So let's see if we can't get that move lower, and then we'll think about trying to get in long on this on that breakdown. Because like I said, overall bullish until we end up getting well below that trend line. We're still in that bullish trend, so keeping that in mind. But I just feel like there is a good chance we're going to head to that low, so that's why I'm, took that trade in the eval, even though it's not like, it's not. It's a little bit less probability at this point. Like, there's no guarantee. I don't have that many signals to say to go there, other than the fact that it is the IB low area. So I'm hoping that we're gonna, head down there, sweep out the IB low, and then head higher. That's kind of the whole thesis behind it. Just trying to get a little scalp here. I'm up $40 now in that trade. What we need here is them to just accelerate here. They did just take that low there, so see if they can't get some acceleration and take us out down here at the low there. And that's basically where we'd be thinking about trying to get long. Well, we'll wait for a reaction from this area. So if we can, we might end up heading a little bit lower than the previous day low if we do head down there. So we'll wait for some sort of a reaction in this area to curl us back out, and then we can think about taking a long. I would definitely think about taking some partials sort of at this fair value gap. And then you can also, try to leave runners. Maybe we could even think about trying to get to the New York VWAP or even higher, maybe the electronic VWAP, taking some more partials on the way up. Looking pretty heavy right now, guys. It might take me out in this trade over here. Let's pull this over here so we can see this. Oh, that's the wrong chart. Here we go. Let's get here, this one. I'm going to pull this like this, and then we'll just move the chart. Although you can't really see my, yeah, that doesn't really work.
Artlist.io.
Bouncing a bit right now, guys. We won't be able to see bookmap, but that's okay. See if we can't get down to this this take profit here. I only went in with 4 contracts. If we start getting towards this line here, then I will be I'll definitely be bringing my stop at least to break even. And looking like the buyers are stepping in there a bit, guys. So like I said, this is a little bit of a risky area. That's why I didn't really want to take it short on my funded account, but I'm willing to risk it a little bit on my eval account. Getting a bit of a bounce. We do have this fair value gap as our kind of like line in the sand. We haven't really tested it. This one technically is sort of a test, but not really, because this candle is part of the formation to create the fair value gap, right? So, but my stop is just a little bit above that. I'm actually going to go right to there, give it a couple more points just in case. See if they can't slap us back down here. Only looking to get out sort of
music licensing reimagined.
782.25. We'll put the order there. If we can get down there, it'd be a nice you know what, guys, I'm gonna actually give it some space here on this one. Let's take off, let's limit by 1, and then we'll just increase it to 3.
Artlist.io.
Confirm. So then we'll have 1 runner left if we get down there, just in case we end up getting a little more movement on that. Getting that bounce again, though. We're on the 5-minute chart right now. This is a 5-minute bearish fair value gap, so it's good to watch the right timeline to line up with your fair value gaps. But yeah, like I said, this is a bit of a risky area because, as you can see, buyers have stepped in here, right? Multiple times in this area.
Music licensing reimagined.
So we just kind of need we need the a failed move higher, which would help let the seller slap it down here. Not risking a whole ton of money here. Let's get some different music going here.
Artlist.io.
Starting to get that falling down a little bit here. Need to get a little continuation here, guys. So far, the bulls have been back in for the last, this whole 5-minute candle, basically. Feeling tired, guys. If we end up getting this trade, we'll wait for that potential long entry. But if this ends up stopping us out and we don't end up going lower, then I'll probably just end the stream. I did want to end it like about 10 minutes ago, 8 minutes ago. So let's see though. Let's go Bears. Like we're cheering for football. Let's go Bears. There we go. We're starting to get that sell off. So looking like we're going to take these lows, right? Like there's no reason that they don't want to sweep these lows. We're all the way down here. There's liquidity. So anyone who got long, right, in this area, they put their stop down here. So that's kind of part of the reason I'm in this short also, is because I know that there's stops in this area. So they're going to want to come down here and take out that level so that they can grab that liquidity and then potentially head higher, right? I mean, they might just continue lower. There's no guarantee it's going to go higher. So that's why we'll wait for that reaction in this area once we get this breakdown, because there's that trend line, right? This green line here, relatively bullish trend line. I'm liking this. This is called a gravestone doji candle right here. So this candle. So as you can see, there's only a very small body and the rest of it's all wick. And the majority of the wick is to the top side. So that's looking pretty good for the bears right now. And we're not that far away, right? We're only 9 points away from my first TP there. So we should be able to get that, that's just that's a small slap for NQ. NQ moves so fast. But first off, we need to take this low here at 878, and then the next one after that is 785. Sorry. So, sorry. There we go. There we go. We're out. We're out of that. So we're gonna bring our. We got to change this to only one contract, and then we're gonna put this in profit here. And let's see if we can't get a little bit more of a move lower. I'm going to pull this aside though, guys, because I want to watch over here for this potential entry of the long. So we're going to wait for a reaction in this area. We might end up going lower, like I said. But so that trade played out pretty nice there, guys. I'm liking that move. It was looking bearish. Like I said, they want to sweep these lows for the liquidity. Now, how much further down are they going to go? We're getting a bit of a bounce, but like we're gonna wait for, let's go back to the 5 on here. We're gonna wait for a 5-minute closure down here. I want to see us. It would be nice to get a closure down here, and then, but we might end up just dipping in and heading higher. So let's try to be patient here, guys. Try to be patient.
Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Do a quick little video here. This is what I'm looking at right now. Nice bounce there, guys. So waiting for a closure here, though.
Artlist.io.
I'm not really convinced that this move lower is finished yet, guys. So I'm not really convinced that this move is over just yet. But I mean, it is playing out how we wanted it to, right? If I just had an entry there at 78.
Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
Nice. I traded Zach's model this morning, guys, and I got a winner. You know, as you guys saw, I got that winner on the ES and the winner on the NQ. So he just did a shout out to me. He's like, shout out to David. He took my model and got the winning trade. So I'm really liking that model. It's a pretty successful, pretty good model. So, you know, if you guys want to hear more about how to trade that model, definitely, you know, say something in the chat and I can kind of explain it to you. See, I'm glad we didn't take long there, guys. I don't think this is over yet, right? You know, it's funny. Look at this, guys. I put that stop here to break even, right? Look at that. We got like literally that stop got, you know, not even a tick away on that bounce there. And we're still in that trade. So we're up $31 in that trade. Let's see let's take a look at the position here. Positions. So we are up $31. It doesn't say how much we closed though. But yeah, so let's be patient here. Try to see if we can't get some more continuation. I can't forget about that trade on the side though. I just totally didn't even look at it at all, and we almost got whiffed out on that bounce there. So looking good, looking good. All right, we're getting that bounce. We're getting the bounce here out of that same area, guys. I'm just gonna leave that runner. If we get stopped out in that one, it's fine. Let's see what happens. We might end up heading lower here. Let's take a look at the book map and think about our next target. We do have orders still below at 770. They did dip into these 80 and 75. That's where, you know, where we are right there roughly. 77. Yeah, we hit about 77 there. So we do have orders down at 70. Let's see if we can't just target that for a take profit at we'll set our TP at 771 on our final contract on that previous short there. So we will actually wait for the long to see if we do get those orders down at 770.
Artlist.io.
I just feel like I'm seeing the market pretty clean right now, and you know, I really don't want to leave the desk now with having those equal highs on ES up there, and you know, we had some divergence
Music
last night. So
reimagined.
let me show you this, guys, here. See if we can't get in that bounce. So we might end up getting stopped out, which, like I said, I don't care. We left one runner just because we're trying to get a little more movement on that low side, right? Okay, so if we look back here, This was pre-market, so this was like right at almost midnight for me, because like I said, I got home pretty late. But if you can see here, this high versus this high, so we made a high and then we made a lower high on ES there. So I mean, technically this did play out already, possibly, but that's why, you know, we have a bearish SMT. So, and the fact that we were here and then we headed lower off of that, we could have probably used that idea to enter short out at the gate, which we did. It just aligns with the whole idea, right? And then over here we had, at the same time frame, we had a bullish SMT. So the NQ had a high here, fell down, sort of like this one, and then bounced up, but made a higher high and a higher low, right? We made a higher low and a higher high. So that's what we call is a bullish or bearish SMT. And then technically, I mean, you could have taken it long here. You would have had quite a bit of drawdown. But it's pretty bullish. Like, that's kind of a bullish sign. But it's too far away from our price action to consider it now, I think. But like, for example, we had, is that a higher high right there? Actually, we might have had a little SMT right at the open too. So that was the high there
reimagined
is 78, and this one is 78.50. Yeah, so there was a little bit of a higher high right there. So we did form we formed a bearish SMT on the NQ right there. If you see this one would be a bearish SMT, because let's go template, bearish SMT. And then over here on the ES, we had, so this is something we wanted to obviously see sort of out of the gate. This is slightly bullish. So we could bullish SMT. So big divergence there. And then a kind of telltale sign is looking like we might get stopped out right now, guys. Let's see if we get a little bit more of a bounce here. We're going to be out. There we go. We're out. That trade is finished. So I think I started the day at 650 in profit. Pretty sure. Let me just look back here at the dashboard of, here we go, right here. Yeah, so we were up no, this isn't it. Sorry.
Artlist.io.
This one's that. Where's the active one? No, that's the one I lost. And then this guy. So yeah, so we were up 650 yesterday. So now we're up. Now we are up 913. So 657, 89, 260 up in that account on those couple trades that I took. First the short off of ES, and then now that short there. So we are getting this bounce, guys. So let's wait for this bearish fair value gap to get inverted, and then we could think about taking this long. I kind of wishing I did enter down there. Like, look how clean this is, guys. We could have entered there. We would have been higher nicely. But this could be our, you know, we could just put our stop below those lows, and then sort of, try to target the breakout of, or the inversion of this fair value gap. So let's just double check. Yeah, it's on there on the 5 minute. So we need a 5 minute closure above this. Then we can think about taking a long. We would be fighting the VWAPs up there. But it is what it is. Sometimes the buyers are going to just take back the control. We did sweep the lows. Really wishing I did take a long there. Look how beautiful that is, guys. 78 up to 800. So 12 points. Could have easily taken 10 points out of that trade. Just for whatever reason, I wussed out there.
Artlist.io.
What the heck?
Music licensing reimagined.
So let's see how this fair value gap works out here. Looking relatively bullish. So we need a 5-minute closure above here if we're gonna think about taking this trade.
Artlist.io.
One and a half minutes on this candle.
Music
A little scary though, guys. Let's actually adjust this trend line because those highs are looking pretty clean right there. Let's go from this candle. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we do have that trend line in the way. We got 2 view off, so it is hard to take this long. Since we've been relatively bearish, we've been making lower lows. But, you know, is this going to be a continuation day? We don't have continuation days every day. It's almost more likely that we're going to see a bounce towards the top of the channel. Like I said, if we're looking at the ES,
Music licensing reimagined.
damn, guys, we got a bullish SMT on the lows here now too. So if you see this right there, is that the low? Oh, this is NQ. So NQ did break this low. See, so this is actually a bearish SMT.
Artlist.io.
Let's go in here. Template.
Music licensing reimagined.
Yeah, okay, so we did sweep the low there, but the ES did not. So we got a bullish SMT on the ES, which is a pretty good sign for the bulls here. I'm gonna put this in.
Artlist.io.
Yeah, so here I'll show you guys on the trading view chart. It's a little bit cleaner for us to see, and I have these templates in place. So check this out. We will be looking at taking the long in the ES. Actually, we won't be watching NQ anymore because we have a bearish SMT. So the NQ is a little bit more bearish, but as you can see here, we had these lows from the previous day. And then we haven't swept those lows, right? We made a lower high, and we have a bullish SMT, right? So over here, we had a low from the previous day, and then we swept those lows on NQ, right? So that means there's a good chance that the ES is going to be a little more bullish. So let's, I'm not going to be watching NQ for now. Let's go back to the ES here, and let's get our bearish fair value gap here, which is
Music licensing reimagined.
so where is our, I think it's right here. Is that it? Yeah. Is there a tiny one right there? Let's get rid of this out of the way. There is a little fair value gap right there. So this is on the 5-minute chart. It's not very big. You guys got to practice on finding these fair value gaps because sometimes they're pretty hard to find. So this is going to be our potential entry if we're going to go target the highs, right? So if we can get a 5-minute closure to close above this bearish fair value gap here, that would be our signal that the bulls are taking back control and we're going to head higher. So keep that in mind, guys. I'm going to be watching only the ES now going forward because I really can't get away from these equal highs. It's just really, it's a big time draw on liquidity. Like whenever there's equal high, you know, lots of people have been, they're like, they see that, they're like putting their stops up there, right? So they might be short still and stops are up there. I mean, obviously some people may have taken profits already, but if we can get that, get that closure above here, we'll definitely be looking at a long here. And I'm going to be taking this, you know, and we're going to target basically the highs like that. We'll put our stops down here, down at the low, just below the low. Let's see if we can get there. Hey guys, I got to use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music 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 licensing reimagined.
All right, guys. So sorry, I'm back. Okay, well, looking like we're heading lower here, hey guys? Are we taking out that low there? Let's see if they end up taking this low out here. NQ is falling down below, so hey, good thing we didn't take that that long off that channel.
Artlist.io.
So let's see how this plays out here, guys. We're still looking for those equal highs at the top of the range there.
Music licensing reimagined.
So this trade idea isn't dead yet. We still have a bullish SMT, and you know, like currently, I mean, it might end up getting they might end up sweeping those lows, which would kind of erase that SMT. But if we end up getting a bounce here, kind of like we are, it's still in play. So again, we're waiting for that closure up above there, and in fact, we're actually forming another fair value gap here. We did form another fair value gap right here, from the bottom of that wick down to the top of wherever this candle ends up. Wherever this candle ends up, stops wicking up. If it stops wicking up, this will be a fair value gap. So we just got to wait for that this candle sort of to finish forming, and then we'll know exactly where this bottom part of this, you know, it might end up being only this big or something in the end. So once that candle closes in 3 minutes and 23 seconds, we'll know where this is going to end up. And then if we invert that, we can actually think about taking that long now, because again, the bulls are stepping back in. We'll be seeing a bounce here. We can get a closure, sort of like, let's just see if it were to like end up making it only that big. That's pretty bullish recovery there, right? So then if we take our next 5 minute candle, we get a closure above this fair value gap, that will be not our new entry signal. Thinking about you know, at these other fair value gaps and other key levels here, like we'll definitely be taking a short, or I mean, covering some of our trade, right? Selling some of our long. So
Artlist.io.
So we actually, just looking back here too, we had a bullish SMT here, or yeah, bullish SMT here, because this candle here is 7 and 750. 7 over here, 7 and 750. So yeah, so we had a bearish fair value or bearish SMT on the NQ. So that kind of signaled this move lower actually, which is we took that trade, right? That was that trade that I took targeting the lows. Just curious, guys, how's my mic sound? Everything sound okay? My headphones keep giving me this weird like feedback sound. I'm just hoping that it's not coming through to you guys.
Artlist.io. Music licensing.
So we wicked up there. So looking like that's going to be, look at that. It's pretty close to what I was drawing there for that. So it's a pretty small bearish fair value gap there. I gotta just shrink this a bit here before we put it in its spot right there. Okay, so that's our new line in the sand here for entering long. So maybe something sort of like this. We'll put our stop down there, previous day low. We can actually target the highs at the end of the move. I probably won't, obviously I won't be in a full position by the time we're getting up there. We got 18 points on that. That's a pretty big move for ES. So let's see how this plays out here, guys. Oh, I really need to get more sleep. This always happens to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna end the stream at 8. Now it's like 8:40 already.
Music licensing reimagined.
13 viewers, 3 in my channel, none in Randy's, and 10 in Randy's X channel. So sound is good. Drops a little when you turn your head to the right. Yeah, I know. That's typically what's been happening. How is it like that? I just turned my mic a little bit and I'm looking over this way. Does it drop still?
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
That was better? Okay. Yeah, I'll keep the mic, slightly angled that way, and then that way it should hopefully pick up, when I'm talking forward. Maybe when I'm talking this way, it's not going to be as good now. Let me know how that sounds. If it sounds worse than, say, when I'm like facing this way, or now I'm facing to the right. So let's hope we don't. I really hope we don't take out these lows, but looking like we are going to here. If we take these lows, guys, I might just wrap it, call it a wrap there. Go get a little bit more sleep. We do have some orders. Well, that's NQ down at 750, 24,750. So we might be just forming, some like. Let's just go back to the 4-hour chart on the NQ, just so you guys can see that channel, what I'm talking about. Because remember, we were looking back a bit there, and see, we did substantially get out of that, but then ended up closing inside again. This is a 4-hour fair value gap. So let's see, do we have any fair value gaps up here? Looks like we don't really. We have only this 4-hour bearish fair value gap, which has been holding. So we might end up wicking down like to 707. That's pretty far. This is Monday low. Monday low is 748. That's where we were going to put our stops. So that being in mind, maybe we can think about getting an entry at 748. Had a killer hockey game yesterday, though. We won, what was it 3 or 4-1 in the end, and it's one of the better teams in the league. Yeah, it was a good game.
Artlist.io.
High-paced game. We played really well. Got some nice goals. I didn't get any goals. I got 1 assist. Overall, I had a pretty good game, though. I think that was better. Left is still good. Okay. Yeah, I'll try to leave my mic angled like that. Then maybe it's gonna pick up more of the sound this way, because when I'm turning my head, it's still kind of pointed at my face. But I guess if I get a little too far this way, which I'm not usually leaning to the left, it probably is a little worse. Oh, hey, Jose. Sorry I missed you there earlier. Good morning. Yeah, good morning, Jose. Oh, I don't think I said hi to William either. I did read your message earlier, but thanks for showing up there, William. Also,
Music licensing reimagined.
yeah, looking like this isn't gonna play out, guys. If we get a couple ticks or a couple points lower here, what are we at? 703.
Artlist.io.
If we get down to 701, which 701.50 area, then that's gonna kind of like erase this idea. I mean, we still have these equal highs, which are potentially a good draw on liquidity. But maybe it's not going to happen today. We might end up selling off today, and then maybe that'll be the target for tomorrow. So keep this in mind, guys. Don't forget about that, because that's definitely a key level. At some point, we're going to go take out that level. So Microsoft partners with OpenAI, Rival, Anthropic, and AI Copilot. Microsoft will begin using AI models from Anthropic to help power its workplace AI assistant, adding a significant partner to the product that has so far been predominantly driven by OpenAI. Beginning on Wednesday, users of Microsoft Copilot branded AI assistant will be able to toggle between OpenAI and Anthropic models for certain functions, including digital research assistance and help building customized AI tools. Anyone who was in, oh, there we go. We just took those lows, guys. So there goes the bearish or the bullish SMT. I'm just going to delete those off of the chart here. Let's get rid of those because those are no longer valid.
Artlist.io.
So now that we took that low. Okay, guys. Well, not looking promising that we're going to be going back to the top of the range or top of the chat or top of the range.
Music licensing.
Not looking like it. Let's look at our 30-minute candle here. See if we got a closure below the IB. So we got 12 minutes left. So this will confirm that we're gonna maybe potentially even keep going lower, is if we get this 30-minute candle to close lower below it. So
Artlist.io.
Yeah, we're going lower here. So just this, I'm still just so tempted to take the long in the NQ, but it's like, it's kind of like catching a falling
Music
knife right now.
licensing reimagined.
So unfortunately, these two accounts are now red today with that last trade that I took. I cut it early. Luckily I did, because, you know, it would have definitely hit full stop on that. So that was definitely a smart choice. Should have waited for the 5-minute closure above that, which was exactly what I was saying. I was playing a 5-minute fair value gap, and I didn't wait for the freaking 5-minute closure like a silly. I panned over to the one. It looked like pretty good because it had closed, but I really needed to wait for the 5-minute closure. So Jose's been busy with work, haven't been able to trade really or hop on the streams, rewatch them at the end of the day. Nice. Yeah, I know life gets in the way, and you know, if obviously for most people this isn't our main source of income, so you know, you can only spend so much time on it, right? Luckily I have some flexibility, being that I work in real estate, and most clients never really bug you before 10 a.m. So I'm more likely to get, you know, phone calls and messages sort of at like midday to late day. So that's kind of good for me. So I do have this time that I can kind of get up and trade. So yeah, it's too bad that we broke that low, guys. It was looking really promising for us to, you know, sort of get an inversion, and
Music licensing reimagined.
we do have this other sort of low over here, 66.87. There's a good chance we can head down all the way to there, guys. I expect us to get some sort of a strong recovery in this week, and this will, like I said, guys, keep that in mind there, that those equal highs are really going to be a draw on liquidity one of these days. Like, it could be today, but it might be, you know, a couple days into the week, further into the week here. I'll stick around for 10 more minutes, guys, and then we'll just wrap it up. Unfortunately, my funded accounts are down a bit. I didn't trade my Lucid accounts today. And then,
licensing reimagined.
you know, my 657, so $263 up in my Trade of 8 evaluation account. So that one's 1/3 of the way now to being passed. So I think we look at the daily chart on NQ here. Let me bring this over. So these are all daily candles, right?
Music licensing reimagined.
Yeah, so we got this bullish fair value gap here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see NQ coming all the way down here, finding some support in this area on the daily chart. Might not end up being today. We'll have to see. It might, you know, do a similar idea here, just form a wick. And then maybe the next day hit that, and then rip right back up into this channel. You know, adversely, if we do get a big closure and we end up closing out here, we could actually think about taking shorts. You know, like that, we might get a deeper pullback in the high time frame rather than the low time frame like we normally trade. So I think that this is off a little bit here. hard to draw that line from the daily candles because it's hard to see where the levels would be, but just to keep it consistent looking is pretty key. Getting a bit of a bounce there, so 712 up to 728, relatively quick there. So let's get this back to the 5-minute.
Music licensing reimagined.
So bearish fair value gap there on the 5. I just kind of running out of ideas now that like I really was feeling confident that we were going to go after those highs, and I'm sure we will. It's just a matter of when. And it's probably not today. Sorry, I'm not these highs. We're looking at these highs, but we have equal highs up there also too. Actually, so you know, keep that one in mind too. There, look at that. Exactly equal highs up here. I'm going to mark this up with yellow. I'm going to start leaving these yellow ones on the chart here as so I don't miss them on future dates.
Music licensing reimagined.
Just wanted to see.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Look at that, guys. We're moving pretty fast now, hey?
Artlist.io.
Let's see, there's show chart executions here.
Music licensing reimagined.
So I'm gonna have to try to be on the stream at starting at 6 a.m. now, guys, because that model that Zach Arbucci has been talking about trading and which worked really flawless today. It actually could have worked yesterday also, but it's been working very well for him. But you got to be on at 6 a.m. because the trade can present itself at 6 from 6 a.m. on. So showing up at 6:30 or waiting for the 6:45 candle isn't going to work if you trade that model. So keeping that in mind, guys. Dow Dow pulled back real hard today, guys.
Music
It's really sucking the
licensing
ES down.
reimagined.
Obviously, all three indices are heading lower. So I'm just going to wrap it up here, guys. We're about 2 minutes away from the hour. So I don't think I'm going to stick around anymore. Like I told you guys, I need a little bit of sleep. That's too bad that we end up taking some losses on these. It always seems to be the funded accounts that I'm getting the losses on. I just, what the heck, man. But anyways, gonna wrap it up there. Make sure you guys check out Top One Futures if you guys need a reload account. Like I'm probably gonna have to get one. I can't use my own code. They kind of frown upon that, but that's fine.
Artlist.io.
I think they got rid of the Ignite. Yeah, they got rid of the Ignite AF automatic funded accounts. As you can see, as I refresh it there, it's gone. But you can still get, I think it's 35 or 40% off any of the accounts with my code MBT Market Butcher Trades. So if you do need any accounts, definitely check those out. Think about checking out Lucid also. They're also a really good company. Really fast payouts, even faster than Top One, which is hard to believe because Top One pays out really fast. But you can get roughly 40% off right now on any of these accounts. So if it's $155 one-time fee. So there's no activation fee, which is pretty sweet. And then you can get your discount. So it's going to be, a little under $100, a little over $100, and you can get into their test account, a 50K. You got $3,000 profit target, $2,000 drawdown. The drawdown type is end of day, which is pretty huge because anyone who knows futures, you definitely don't want like the trailing drawdown. So as in like if you go in to a trade and you're up 300 and it ends up stopping you at break even, you lose 300 out of your drawdown, right? So then it just reduces the amount of like max loss you have, right? They do have a fixed daily loss limit, so 1,200 below the initial balance of your account. So say you're at 51,000 in your account, you can only go down to 49,800, and then it's gonna like sell the position and lock you out. So it's pretty good. It's a fail safe. It's it's there to protect you. It can have a bit of a negative effect sometimes. Like let's say you get hit your full daily loss limit, they take you out of the trade, and then it only goes like 1 or 2 ticks lower and rebounces or bounces and goes to your TP. That can be pretty frustrating, but at the same time, you think like the max that you can lose in a day is 1,200, right? So 4 minis or 40 micros is a max position, and you can pass these accounts in one day. So like if you have a killer day, you make 3,000 in one day, boom, you're done, and you have a Lucid Direct account where you can start getting payouts. So no activation fee, no hard breach rules, and a clear path to live in Lucid Pro phase. So the Lucid Direct, they're obviously a lot more expensive, $489. You can get roughly 40% off. I'm gonna have to double check on that, but this one's a little bit harder, right? Because you got the drawdown type is end of day, which is good. Another 1,200 fixed daily loss limit. Lucid Scaled daily loss limit, so 60% of your peak end of day balance is there's another drawdown type or daily loss limit, sorry. And then you got a 20% consistency rule, so you got to be careful not to take too big of profits. You got to multiply your highest profits, so 600 times 5 to get to your profit target. Where is the profit target? Okay, so they don't actually have a profit target in their direct account, but you have a consistency rule. So you got to get have to stay within the consistency rule, and you have to trade 8 days. So that's kind of the line in the sand there. So as long as you can have 8 winning trading days with the maximum of, with the consistency rule under 20%. So if you do $600 or less, even less than that, actually, you could probably do $200 a day. And you just don't want to like have a really big winning day. Like you made $2,000 this day, and then you made, 200, 200, 200, 200, all the way to the 8 days. So 7 times 2 is 14. You'd still be under, you wouldn't meet that consistency rule. So I wouldn't say, you should cut it at some point, right? If you're never used to like getting $1,000 winner, then like if you do get an $1,000 winner, it's going to be hard for you to make that consistency rule. You're going to have to trade this account longer to get to that, right? And then you can get to live, which is kind of should be all of our goals, because if you can get it in a live account, you can take withdrawals every day. There's no drawdown. There is a max loss limit. They don't want you to lose a certain amount out of the account, but there's no real drawdown types other than max loss limit, and the consistency rule goes away, right? So that should be, everyone's big goal is to get to a live account. Then you can start making the real money. But anyways, check those accounts out if you're needing some accounts, and please use my discount code. I do get a small little kickback, just trying to help fund all the time that I'm spending on these streams. Although, like I said before in the past, I'm doing this more for transparency and accountability. That's the main reason I'm trading live. It just since I started trading live, my trading has been better. I did have a couple blow up days recently, so trying to keep those to the minimum. But overall, my trading has been definitely more solid. That being said, everybody, thanks so much for showing up on the stream. Enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Found some decent trades today. Some right out of the gate. Some did have that one loser midday and cut it early because it wasn't, I made a mistake. I really shouldn't have entered on that 5-minute fair value gap without a 5-minute closure. So lesson learned, right, guys? Make sure you wait for whatever gap you're trading. You got to wait for that time frame of a closure above or below it. Or if you're just playing the fair value gap, you could have that would have been a good one to actually just enter in the fair value gap, because that's another option, is you can put an order inside the fair value gap and look for the continuation. But yeah, thanks so much, everybody. Had a fun time. Take care. Hopefully you guys are green, and we will see you tomorrow on Randy's stream live, Thursday morning, 6:15 a.m. So catch you guys later. Peace out, everybody. Have a good day.